Hello, eighth grade geography students. This is Mrs. Politsky, and I have your notes for Chapter 19, Section 1, the Physical Geography of Central Asia. So we're going to start by talking about some of the features. And the big thing to remember here is that Central Asia is completely landlocked, meaning that there are no direct accesses to the ocean. You do have a fewer small bodies of water like the Aral Sea and the Caspian Sea, but none of those actually have waterways that go out to either uh, the Black Sea or Persian Gulf, making it possible for ships to move goods to and from. So, mountains. Central Asia is incredibly rugged. It has high mountain ranges. Hindu Kush stretches through parts of Afghanistan with peaks up to 20,000 feet. You have the Khyber Pass that cuts through the Hindu Kush mountains. It's a trade route. You also have the Pamirs, which stretch through Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan. Uh, this set of mountains, because of its elevation, also has glaciers that are on it. Throughout history, the mountains have made travel and communication very difficult, but they've also contributed to the region's isolation. Tectonic activity causes frequent earthquakes within this region as well. Plains and plateaus. Near the Caspian Sea, the land is as low as 95 feet below sea level. The Fergana Valley, which is a region that has fertile land, and it's been a center for farming for thousands of years, primarily in areas of Uzbekistan. There are two rivers that flow through the Fergana Valley. You have the Sierra Dera River, and you also have the Amu Dara River. They uh, flow from eastern mountain ranges into the Aral Sea, which is really kind of a big lake. The deal is that a lot of the water that's coming out of either one of these rivers is being used for irrigation. You also have Lake Balkhash. This is kind of a unique lake because part of it, the lake on one side is freshwater, and at the other end, it's actually saltwater, which can happen. It probably has a lot to do with the rivers that are feeding into it and obviously the climate that's coming out of this region. Climate and vegetation. Central Asia has extreme temperature ranges, very limited rainfall, making it difficult for plants to grow there. The mountain areas of Central Asia are really not suitable for vegetation because of the high peaks or high elevations, the fact that these elevations are too cold or windy or dry to allow for any kind of crops. But in the Fergana Valley, you do see farmers raising cotton. So there are two deserts within this region. You have the Karakum, which is in Turkmenistan, and you have the Kizilkum, which is in part of Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. Uh, these deserts have extremely high temperatures in the summer. Rainfall within these regions is limited, but most people live near the rivers crossing this region where the irrigation water is used for crops. The mildest climate in Central Asia can be found really far north into this region where the temperatures are not as extreme and the rainfall's a little more plentiful for grass and trees to grow. In a way, it probably mimics more of the climate that we're seeing in the upper Midwest. Natural resources. Water is probably the most valuable resource in this region because it's so limited. In southern Central Asia, water from the Sierra Dara and the Amu Dara rivers have led to conflicts between Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. Farmers use the water to irrigate their cotton fields, and cotton as a crop uses a lot of water. And as a result, the water that once fed the Aral Sea isn't reaching that body of water. The Aral Sea, for the most part, has lost more than 75% of its water since 1960. And unfortunately, it exposes a large area of the seafloor. Central Asia's rivers also help generate hydroelectricity. And so when those waters aren't reaching the power plants or reaching the areas where they're needed, we can have some big issues. Oil and other resources. Well, oil and natural gas reserves have been found in this region. Pipelines are used to transport the oil and natural gas efficiently through the rugged terrain because building highways is just kind of a no go. But even at that, putting the pipelines in is not an easy feat. There are also deposits of gold, silver, copper, zinc, and uranium. If you take a look at the map below, you can kind of see some of the different um, resources that are there. You can also see some of the mines that have been closed because of some contamination issues. So, needless to say, this is an area that has resources, but there's probably some concerns about how these are being managed. Thank you very much.